G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube channel. How are we all doing today? I was going to do an outdoor video riding around talking about this one, but you might be able to hear she's raining a little bit, so it's not the greatest time to get out here and stop hitting this wire. It's not the greatest day to go out for a ride, but nothing like a good garage video with me trusty microphone over here. I was too lazy to thread it through my clothes and do the old-fashioned lapel mic that way, so axe microphone. So, ladies and gents, today's video is based on are motorcycles worth it? Last time you saw me filming in this exact location, the topic was a bit grim. We'll talk about some biker that had an unfortunate accident. But today, we're not talking about that. We're talking more on the line of the things, are motorcycles worth it? Now, what do you think my answer to this question is? Of course they are. There's a different multitude of factors that make motorcycles more enjoyable and less enjoyable, depending on what kind of things you're doing on the road. Are they enjoyable when you get caught speeding or doing stupid stuff like wheeling or stopping? No. They can get you a good story, but the point is that's not the idea of them. Motorcycles as a whole are absolutely worth it. There's different reasons to get into motorcycling. It could be that you just want to go for a ride on the weekends. You could just want a nice commuting toy, just a little run around. It depends on what you're looking for. You might want a trail bike to go down those lovely, lovely hidden paths in the mountain ranges or off the beaten path in the bush, something like that. Depends on what you're after. So, blanket term, are they worth it? The answer is yes. What do you think I'm going to say? I've been running the YouTube videos on this. I've been running the channel for ages on this topic. What are you looking to get out of a motorcycle? Ladies and gents, this depends. So, if you're looking to get into commuting, this one more depends on the area you're living in. Some areas are busier than others. If you can lane filter, that's an automatic yes. All right, if you've got a lot of dangerous drivers, play it by ear. But for me, because lane filtering is legal in Australia, absolutely they're worth it. Commuting becomes so much easier as long as you're switched on up here, because traffic doesn't exist simply when you're riding around with lane filtering. Now, I know you can do it in America, but it's illegal and you might get caught. I don't know about other countries. America seems to be my other main sort of viewer place, so probably there's only, 2 states you can legally lane filter in, like California, and I don't remember the other one. I know Texas has been a bit grey area, but I think they sort of banned it recently. But my comments are very hit or miss, depends. Some people say yes, some people say no. I don't know what the answer is. I'm not an expert in this field, so forgive me if I'm not well versed in your local area laws. Though, I do get yelled at quite a bit for lane filtering because I'm apparently being rude, even though it's completely fine here and no one cares about it. But other people in other countries seem to think their laws affect me here. But if commuting is your main point of riding, absolutely, man, you really just get a bike. Because even if you've got a long commute to work, being on a bike just makes the day that much better. Because not only do you have the morning to just calm down and enjoy yourself a little bit before the day ends, when you leave the office, you get that, thank God I'm taking the bike home. When you're in a car, yes, it's warmer or cooler, depending on where you live in and the temperature at the time. If it's raining, fair enough. If you don't ride in the rain, not everyone does. I don't typically ride in the rain. I've done it, but I don't prefer to. I know there are people in my comments that absolutely do. I'm looking at you, Eric. I know you ride rain, hail, or shine. Doesn't matter, but not everyone's built different like you. So if you're commuting, you get that point where you can be like, thank God I've brought the bike in. I mean, my day is just that much better because I get to enjoy my ride home or ride to work. If you're just looking for a weekend toy, remember, boys and girls, bikes are cheaper than cars, both running costs and just fuel costs and everything else. Tires are expensive, yes. Servicing, it's a service. All vehicle servicing is expensive. But as a whole, if you're just taking care of the bike and you're doing most of the maintenance yourself, if you don't learn, it's not that bad. I learned how to do my brakes and everything. In fact, I've got to actually change my pad on the rear brake again because I finally got the spring pad. Not the pad itself, the spring pad. It's like a little spring thing that holds the brake pads from vibrating. I don't know, something along those lines. Someone in the comments will probably explain it better than me. But yes, if it's just a weekend toy, bike's entry cost is much cheaper. So say you want a nice twisty thing, and you might buy yourself a little GT86. You might buy yourself an MX-5 or Miata, as some people would say. But bikes, cheaper and much more fun because you can park them virtually anywhere. Now, if you're in Australia, you can literally park them anywhere. I know in America, some places don't let you park on the curb. I know in some states, they're a bit more iffy here in Australia and territories, but in Victoria, we can park them on the curb, we can park them on the footpath, we can park them anywhere as long as it's not right next to the wall, and there's like 2 streets in the city where we can't do it. But besides that, it's completely fine. So if you're just looking to get in on the weekend and have a bit of fun, bikes are by far some of the best ways to enjoy the automobile hobby. All right, because remember, vehicles are like well over half of the world's most prioritized hobbies out of everyone. I ain't talking Warhammer 40k, I ain't talking BattleTech, I ain't talking anything else. Gaming is up there, but vehicles are still like 50 or 70% of the hobbies for most people, all right? Getting on the bike, going to the twisties, track days, they're inexplicably just fantastic, all right? So you get out there in the bike, you go through the twisties. Now, even if you don't go fast, you'll still have the time of your life. And in fact, you don't even need to buy a fast bike to enjoy yourself. A lot of the time you'll see on this video, I talk about you don't need a big bike. I like big bikes. I might sound like a granddad saying you shouldn't get one. That's not the point I'm nailing across. They're fantastic, those big bikes, all right? Big bikes are fun, but small bikes you can rip and tear through the streets and absolutely love every minute of it. So the best fun I've had has been on the little 4-cylinder 250s. Now, a guy in the last video made a comment about this as what Fortnite said, is if everyone starts on those little 250s, we wouldn't need any other bikes because they're just that much fun. All right? But remember, riding motorcycles isn't just about the speed and enjoyment. Sometimes it's just about the experience, even in a tame sense. So I ride a cruiser. The Rebel is a bit more of a hybrid cruiser. It's more naked-ish cruiser than it is cruiser. Ask me how I know. The Indian Chief, and that's a cruiser. The Harley, that's a cruiser. This, it looks like one. She don't ride like one. But say you've got more of the back roads, if you've got the twisties, you've got the mountains or the canyons, stuff like that, you will find yourself going... Yes?
I put something away, sorry.
You always manage to catch me midway through something. I forget where I was going with that because my dad came into the garage, so let's see if I can recall. And if I remember correctly, I was talking about going through these twisties, canyons and all things like that. You don't always have to go fast to enjoy these places. In fact, you'll find yourself, the more you ride, like, sure, you'll go faster and faster. And in fact, the guy in the comments said this recently. He was so focused on going fast, he never looked up. And when he changed motorcycles to something a bit more comfortable and cruisy, you start looking around at your scenery more than you do the road and the bike focused stuff. And you find just cruising through the back streets, looking at nature and looking at the scenery, as long as you don't go too fast and get lost and come off the road, because I know that's happened to a few people, you'll find yourself just enjoying the adventure out into the wild as opposed to just riding it for the sake of going fast and going hard and going as fast as you can around and how low can you lean. That's enjoyable too, don't get me wrong, I love that stuff. But sometimes just going out to the middle of nowhere, getting lost and taking in the scenery is just as enjoyable as anything else in terms of the motorcycle stuff. So some of my most fun things I enjoy doing is literally going out into the middle of nowhere, I turn my GPS off, and I try and find my way back. Obviously, I have a look around first. I've posted them as thumbnails before. And honestly, if you haven't done this, I implore you to do it. Make sure you go to a place that's got relatively decent GPS stuff, so if you do get lost, you can find your way back. But point being is, you want to be able to try and get lost to the point where you're far enough away that you don't recognize anything, and the views are nice, so you still look around. In fact, I love just going out to areas I'm familiar with, and then going down streets I've never even seen before. And some of the best roads I've found have been in those hidden away places, and the best part about them is they're not usually popular. They're not populated with cars or other bikers because no one else ventures there. Everyone typically sticks to the more popular places. But when you start going off the beaten path, you find places that no one else goes in, and you might find the best road of your life. And I'm going to be honest, I found 2 or 3, and I have no idea where they are because they were just so much fun. I didn't know how I got there. I don't know how I got back. I just enjoyed it. And believe you me, it was some of the best riding I've ever had on the bike. Now, sometimes going for a longer commute on the motorcycle can be a little uncomfortable. It's not built for it. Not everyone's built for it, but a long trip in a car and a long trip on a bike, it depends on the distance. If you're doing multitudes of days of driving, it's probably better in a car than a bike. I'm not going to say otherwise because I've never done it, but I know there are people that will swear by riding those distances. I've never tried, but they enjoy it. But a few hours here and there, I'll take the bike over the car every time. If I have to take a whole bunch of passengers, obviously the bike ain't it, but I'm not taking passengers often. So if I have to go 2 hours away, I love taking the bike because 1, it typically goes faster because I can go through the traffic. 2, I can park it anywhere. Fuel is cheaper. It cost me like $15 to fill up the bike on a high day. The most I've ever had to put in it was $19.60. That was the most, and I only use the premium petrol in my bike. Flex. But fuel is cheap, and you can go on these bigger journeys. And if you're more enjoying the idea of just traveling somewhere, take the bike because not only is it more fun, you can park it, you'll enjoy it, and you'll just overall have a better time. So, personally for me, ladies and gents, the motorcycle is a non-negotiable anymore in my life. It's always going to be a part of my stuff, and it's always going to be in the garage. I don't care. I'll take this over the car if I have to sell one or the other. But it just means I have to buy some weather gear. But dude, bikes being worth it? Absolutely. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And if you haven't got a bike and you're looking to get a bike, get one. If you have any other questions about stuff or you have any other points you want to drive through on this very topic, please leave them down below in the comments section because I love it when you guys interact. That's the main reason I do YouTube and the Discord. If you have any other questions or any questions about motorcycles, you want to ask any questions about buying a motorcycle, hop in the Discord. There are many people. We've got over 260 people in there now. They'll be more than happy to answer your questions if I don't answer it for you. So hop in the Discord, buy yourself some merch. We've got beanies, hoodies, and stickers and other stuff coming along. We've got hats as well that aren't out yet because I haven't tried them yet. I don't give them away until I know they're decent. So pick up yourself some merchandise. And if you're in America, the shipping should be cheaper because I know they come from California, Mexico area. So somewhere over there. But in Australia, forgive me guys, I don't stock the merchandise. It's just made to order. But that's for now. Otherwise, get yourself a motorcycle, start riding. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Otherwise, take it easy, keep it cheesy, and have a good one. Peace. Bye!